Yeah, it has showing on the monitor. So this just condensed what's on the monitor right now. Oh, this might get it. Oh my gosh. No signal.
What did you say? I couldn't my best friend. Oh, I thought you said bus driver for 5th grade.
I was like, there we go.
Yes, I'm hanging out with a bus driver.
Friend was the bus driver. And I was like, well, that's sad.
Okay. Shh. Hey guys.
He's disturbing my learning.
Hey, can you get in a state so you can watch this? Okay, we're watching this. Don't talk. Okay, and then we'll discuss this briefly, and then you're going to be reading this thing called The Lessons of Salem, because these are lessons that we learn as a country, okay? Here we go.
Return to our lead story, the uproar over Donald Trump's proposal to ban Muslims from entering this country. In the heat of the political moment, some perspective. History is replete with examples of what happens when fear and intolerance take hold and an entire category of people is marginalized. Tom Brokaw offers reflections now on the hard lessons of the past. Donald Trump promised to ban all Muslims.
Okay, you guys just missed. Okay.
Guys, this is important.
Look at his
Donald
face.
Trump's promise to ban all Muslims from coming to America is more, much more, than a shouted campaign provocation. Trump's statement, even in this season of extremes, is a dangerous proposal that overrides history, the law, and the foundation of America itself. In my lifetime alone, we have been witness to the consequences of paranoia overriding reason. During World War II, law-abiding Japanese American citizens were herded into remote internment camps, losing their jobs, businesses, and social standing, while an all-Japanese American division fought heroically in Europe. At the same time, in Germany, a regime that declared war on its own citizens if they were Jewish, and Germany paid the ultimate price, defeat and history's condemnation. But after the war, America still had to learn about demagoguery the hard way. Senator Joe McCarthy's anti-communist witch hunt. It has been labeled making ever more outrageous claims, damaging reputations, until one day.
Have you no sense of decency, sir?
All of that while African Americans whose ancestors came here as slaves were treated as second or even third-class citizens in uniform and out. Yes, the jihadists are radical Muslims, but they're a minority in a world with 1.5 billion Muslims. Even so, defeating ISIS will be long, hard, and expensive. Perhaps even more so now, because ISIS is likely to use Donald Trump's statement as a recruiting tool. Kareem Khan, a Muslim, responded to a different kind of recruiting, 9/11. An American citizen, he joined the American Army to show that not all Muslims are fanatics. He was killed in Iraq in 2007 by an IED just 20 years old. Mr. Trump cannot exclude him from America. He has a permanent home here in Section 60 at Arlington National Cemetery. Tom Brokaw was something for us to think about.
Okay, so, and I've mentioned this before, when Arthur Miller wrote The Crucible, his purpose wasn't to write a book about witches. His purpose was to write a book where he was able to express social commentary on something that was happening in the country at the time that he wrote the book. And he used the witch hunts to parallel what was happening in 1950. The 1950s, during the Cold War, Senator Joseph McCarthy, he was what you would call a demagogue, and they're calling Trump a demagogue. A demagogue is a person who rises to power because he becomes very popular among the citizens because he constantly compliments them and tells them how great they are, while at the same time his agenda is like completely backward from what a democracy should look like. He was the one who led the Red Hunt, looking for communists. The whole country was freaking out about communists. Similarly to how our country is freaking out about anybody who has anything to do with Islamic religion, right? Because we're seeing extremists, jihadists, ISIS, who are just going around killing people. And it even happened in our country last week in California, right? Where there were some extremists who decided, let's go kill a bunch of people, just out of the blue. The woman had a 6-month-old baby that she just left behind to go kill because she was so firm in her belief that what they were doing in the name of Islam was right. Well, it's not right. It's wrong, right? And like Tom Brokaw says, there's 1.5 billion Muslims in the world. They're not killers, okay? It's an extremist group that are the killers. When we were threatening to kick all the communists out of the country in 1950, people were being accused of being a communist even though they weren't. People were being accused of being communists even though they weren't. It was called the Hunt for Reds.
Wasn't it called the Red Scare?
The Red Scare, the Hunt for Reds. It was during the Cold War. Okay.
Being a Muslim, though, that's a race. Communism is a
Correct. So the parallels here, they're either looking at religious affiliation, political beliefs about a system, or race, right? They're kind of all thrown together. Jews are a race, but Jewish is also a religion, Judaism, right? Japanese, it's a race, right? But they were also the ones that we were at war with during World War II. Okay? So, it's not just religion, it's not just political affiliation, it's not just race. It's kind of throwing groups of people, showing complete intolerance towards a group of people. Okay? So, the thing you're going to read today totally ties into that. I'm going to start you off reading because it's going to talk about the true history of some of the witches that were killed during the 1692 witch hunts. The things that Tom Brokaw just showed you on NBC News, that was on last night. So I'm like, oh my god, I gotta show this to you guys. Those are called modern day witch hunts. Modern day witch hunts. That's the spin given to this kind of activity where you're rounding up people just because you think that that's who they are, but they're not. It's just that they happen to be in that group where there are some of these people that you want to round up. So, everybody turn to 97 if you